I'm Isaac, and every day on this channel we go through everything Trump talked about on Truth Social over the last 24 hours. So if you guys aren't aware, the big news from today is that Donald Trump's tariffs were completely overturned in its current implementation. Congress, in a 6-3 decision, affirmed that Donald Trump's tariffs are too broad in their current implementation, and they overruled his tariffs. And Trump issued a response to this. He says, "To show you how ridiculous the opinion is, the court said that I'm not allowed to charge even $1 to any country under IEPA. I assume to protect other countries, not the United States, which they should be interested in protecting. But I'm allowed to cut off any and all trade or business with that same country, even imposing a foreign country, destroying embargo, and do anything else I want to do to them. How nonsensical is that? They're saying that I have the absolute right to license, but not the right to charge a license fee? What license has ever been issued without the right to charge a fee? But now the court has given me the unquestionable right to ban all sorts of things from coming into our country, and a much more powerful right than many people thought we had. Our country is the hottest anywhere in the world, but now I'm going in a different direction, which is even stronger than our original choice, as Justice Kavanaugh wrote in his dissent. Although I firmly disagree with the court's holdings today, the decision might not substantially constrain a president's ability to order tariffs going forward. That is because numerous other federal statutes authorize the president to impose tariffs and might justify most, if not all, of the tariffs issued in this case. Those statutes include, for example, the Trade Expansion Act of 1962, Section 232, the Trade Act of 1974, Sections 122, 201, and the Tariff Act of 1930, Section 338. Thank you, Justice Kavanaugh. In actuality, while I'm sure they didn't mean to do so, the Supreme Court's decision today made a president's ability to both regulate trade and impose tariffs more powerful and crystal clear rather than less. There will no longer be any doubt, and the income coming in and the protection of our companies and country will actually increase because of this decision. Based on long-standing law and hundreds of victories to the contrary, the Supreme Court did not overrule tariffs. They merely overruled a particular use of IEPA tariffs. The ability to block, embargo, restrict, license, or impose any other condition on a foreign country's ability to conduct trade with the United States under the IEPA has been fully confirmed by this decision. In order to protect our country, a president can actually charge more tariffs than I was charging in the past under the various other tariff authorities, which have also been confirmed and fully allowed. Therefore, effective immediately, all national security tariffs, Section 232, and existing 301 tariffs remain in place and in full force and effect. Today, I will sign an order to impose a 10% global tariff under Section 122 over and above our normal tariffs already being charged. And we're also initiating several Section 301 and other investigations to protect our country from unfair trading practices. Thank you again for your attention to this matter. Make America great again, President Donald J. Trump. The White House quotes this saying, "Make America great again," and Trump reposts this. So Donald Trump is not done with his tariffs. There was a press briefing at 12:45 p.m. Eastern Time regarding tariffs and responding to the Supreme Court's decision. And in that meeting, Donald Trump said that he did in fact sign a global 10% tariff on all countries. And he says it'll be effective almost immediately. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And later on Truth Social, he turned his ire towards the Supreme Court, saying, "Those members of the Supreme Court who voted against our very acceptable, and proper method of tariffs should be ashamed of themselves. Their decision was ridiculous. But now, the adjustment process begins, and we will do everything possible to take in even more money than we were taking in before." And he calls them out even further, saying, "What happened today with the 2 United States Supreme Court justices that I appointed against great opposition, Neil Gorsuch and Amy Coney Barrett, whether people like it or not, never seems to happen with Democrats. They vote against the Republicans and never against themselves. Almost every single time, no matter how good a case we have, at least I didn't appoint Roberts, who led the effort to allow foreign countries that have been ripping us off for years to continue to do so. But we won't let it happen. The new tariffs, totally tested and accepted as law, are on their way." President Donald J. Trump. And the White House lets us all know that President Donald J. Trump just imposed a 10% global tariff on all countries, and Trump reposted that. They also say a few more things. Donald Trump reposts all of this. They share how Trump has effectively used tariffs over the past year. They say the stock stock market recently broke the 50,000 mark on the Dow and simultaneously 7,000 on the S&P. It was used to end 5 of the 8 wars, great national security, and reduce fentanyl coming in by 30% when used as a penalty against countries illegally sending poison to the United States. They also post America First with an American flag, and finally they share a picture of Trump that says keep calm and tariff on. And let's take a look at a little bit of Donald Trump's speech on the matter.
I'm ashamed of certain members of the court, absolutely ashamed, for not having the courage to do what's right for our country. I'd like to thank and congratulate Justices Thomas, Alito, and Kavanaugh for their strength and wisdom and love of our country, which is right now very proud of those justices. When you read the dissenting opinions, there's no way that anyone can argue against them. There's no way. Foreign countries that have been ripping us off for years are ecstatic. They're so happy. And they're dancing in the streets, but they won't be dancing for long, that I can assure you.
And before all this tariff stuff took place, Trump talks about the Democrat shutdown, saying the Democrat shutdown cost the U.S. at least 2 points in the GDP. That's why they're doing it. In mini form, again, no shutdowns. Also, lower the interest rates. Too late Powell is the worst, President DJT. The White House quotes the part that says the Democrat shutdown cost the USA at least 2 points in the gross domestic product. No shutdowns, President Donald J. Trump. So that was everything Trump talked about today. We saw him respond to the Supreme Court overturning his tariffs. He's trying to keep them in place with different statutes and different sections, as well as imposing a 10% global tariff. He's not too happy with the justices. He calls the 6 justices a disgrace to our country. He says they always vote with the left and they're supporting foreign countries. So that's everything the president talked about today. As always, if you guys want to support the channel, consider subscribing, and I will see you guys tomorrow.